You are now listening to Feeding Off Each Other.
Welcome to Feeding Off Each Other, a weekly podcast where we feed off the talent, humor, knowledge, and awesome stories of our guests and each other. I'm Jason, temporary host Lucas, and I'm joined by Dave, in Matt's chair, Wiggins.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Great intro. Good job.
I think you should have done it. You're sitting in the chair.
Leave me alone.
He has no authority to do the intro in that chair.
Hello, motherfucker.
You wrote the intro, and you weren't even confident to say it yourself?
You didn't write that.
You didn't write? Who wrote that? You wrote that?
What do you mean? That's the one we always do.
Yeah,
But somebody wrote it.
I think I originally wrote it.
Dave wrote it.
Oh.
Years ago.
Is there any copyright to that claim?
No, it's not a copyright matter. We were like, "Oh, are you gonna do the intro?" And then Jason was looking at me and with these eyes, so I thought he
Sexy
wanted.
eyes.
Yeah.
I thought he wanted me to do something special, and we had talked about doing like
Kiss?
We talked about doing like an AI voice thing, and I'm like, "Is he thinking that?" And it just threw me off. And then I was like,
stands for like ass is insane.
That's hot.
And so I got thrown, and then I started to do it, and you guys laughed, and then I was like, maybe I don't know.
Nobody cares.
Maybe I don't know what they're talking
No,
about.
man. You should give it a rip. Just go off the dome right now.
Welcome back to Feeding Off Each Other, the podcast where we talk to people and do stuff. I don't know.
People are confused now. They're like, wait, what? Did the first podcast just end? What's going on?
I'm not good at memorizing lines and stuff. This is why I couldn't be an actor.
Guys, it's episode 99.
Ooh, the Wayne Gretzky episode.
Great one.
The penultimate episode until we stop this podcast forever.
Until we get canceled.
Yeah, or cancer. Who knows?
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, knock
Dark.
on wood.
I am a
Flits.
Cancer, though.
Yeah, horoscopically.
You're a Cancer. I'm an Aries. What are you, Jason?
I'm a Leo.
Leo. Oh, I've heard bad things.
Yeah, probably.
Heard bad things.
Of that fake thing that people believe in.
I love it.
Oh, hey.
Have you seen that stand-up comedian where he's like, he says his star sign. He's like, well, I'm an Aries, and that means, whatever. And then the audience reacts in a certain way. He's like, I'm not even an Aries. And then this one person in the audience is like, I knew it. And he says, like, I'm a Leo or something. And then she goes, I knew it. He goes, I'm also not a Leo.
It's like a double blind kind of
disproves
test.
it all, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I did a horrible job explaining that. But.
You sure about that?
You did a better job than I explained the Waffle House. So you introduced Dave.
Uh-huh.
You didn't introduce me or yourself. Did you introduce yourself?
I did introduce
you
myself.
Introduced yourself. Yeah, you didn't give yourself a nickname.
I did.
Guess. Oh, you did?
I said
What?
temporary host.
Temporary.
Lucas.
Oh, okay, sorry. I feel different in this chair. I
Yeah.
feel a bit like I'm seeing more of the room. I'm sitting on the sweat of 70 previous guests.
Yeah, Rhett's coughed up mucus is still on the chair.
In the corner here, it's a little goopy. I got
still
Red
do.
Bulls for Brett
Well,
Tippy. Actually, Tippy hasn't been in this chair yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the reason being is because you're our guest today. This is the Matt Dennison episode 99. We're going to go deep onto your life.
So my greatest fear, guys.
We've done minutes of research. So
What number were you and what number was I?
69.
You were like 6,
9.
Well, I was like 32, but
and I might have been 11 or something. And it's
11.
I feel like I was pretty.
We did pretty. Oh, because I guess at the beginning we weren't sure, how many Chothers out there, the early Chothers,
Yeah.
early adopters.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if they knew who you were, so we kind of wanted to give you a cross section, and then
Right.
after we recorded, it was just 2 weeks of you unsure if it was good or not, and you thought it was a terrible pod, and
I don't remember that.
there wasn't enough interesting stuff to talk about. But that's where we got the salmon from.
yeah,
That was
It's true.
legendary.
Legend.
People still reference that.
Yeah,
in the-
I was
in the
7.
comments.
I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
You were, oh geez, how do I even find yours? 24.
Oh, okay.
24. That's not bad. That's pretty early. And then it's taken 70 more episodes to get to Matt.
Well, I mean, it crossed my mind, but I guess I never brought it up. I never.
I would think about it every 4 months or something. Be like, oh, we should do a Matt one, and then it would just evaporate from my mind. But 99 feels like a good. It's like you're
cool
wrapping
number.
it up. Yeah, and you're like wrapping up the trilogy
99 problems.
before the 100.
Bitch ain't one.
Should I do the guest intro while we're?
Oh, you got
Yeah,
an intro for me.
the best-
What'd you write? Oh boy. Ooh, I feel my cheeks getting rosy already.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna say so many nice things about me.
This fuckface. No, I'm just kidding. Today's guest is someone very special to us and all of Chother Nation. He is a supremely talented filmmaker, entrepreneur, and beloved internet personality, known for writing and directing such classics as How to Buy a Mountain Bike, I Only Ride Park, Wismas, Business Horse, and so many more. Beyond his passion for filmmaking, you may be surprised to know this fellow also has a passion for riding bicycles, which is what sent him down a path of creating and starring in hundreds of videos that center around cycling. But in the end, he's just a real silly Billy with a big heart, and you may even be familiar with him as the co-host of this very podcast. Without further ado, everyone, please give a warm welcome to Matthew, quote-unquote, podcast guest, Dennison.
Guys, it's an honor to be here. I love what you got going on in the studio. It's a cool place. How many of these you done?
90.
Is this live?
This is
Yeah.
live.
Oh,
So you can't fucking
Can I
shitty swear?
I can't swear.
Bitch tits.
Oh, come on. I already got demonetized.
She's calling me bitch tits.
Yeah. Well, Dave bitch tits Wiggins is what I was going to go with.
I said, guys, I got a text from Richie Schley right before we started recording. And I said, you're not going to believe what this text says.
Okay, I'm going to guess it says something. He meant to text someone else and he sent it to you. And it might be about a secret trail he was going to ride.
No, but can I tell you a story?
Okay.
I will often use Siri in my car, and I'll try to text Brooke, and I'll say, "Hey Siri, text Brooke Taylor," and I'll say, "I'm coming home now, babe. Can't wait to slap that ass."
Oh, that's hot.
And it will send to Remy Metallier
Oh,
it's hearing Brooke Taylor, Remy Metallier, Taylor Tallier. And I'm telling Remy Metallier, I can't wait to come home and slap that ass. So I don't actually say that to Brooke. She's a nice lady. I'm very respectful to her.
I've had to remedy similar problems where
Remy Metallier.
my sister's names both start with an A, and so it's like Amy and Elisa. And
Oh, that's hot.
I would get scared. I would text one of them about the other person. or something.
Wait. Sorry. I almost am sending a text to Remy Metallier of this whole conversation right now. I'm going to cancel that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I changed the last name in my phone from my last name to their middle names.
Smart.
Oh, yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. And I also have two friends named Sarah, so I didn't want to text the wrong one, so I made them their nicknames.
I added the accent to Remy's last name, and I don't think it helped.
Oh.
So I'm a little scared. I'm going to say something.
Do you know
funny.
other Remys?
No.
Just change it. Just take out the Metallier, or just make it like Remy M or something.
I guess so. Yeah.
Remium.
Yeah.
So wait, where did Richie?
Yeah, hit
Schley?
us.
So what Remy Schley? Richie Schley. What he said was, "Hey man, hope you're well. What was that nose thing you were promoting on your feeding off each other to help you sleep?" It's going viral, man. I gotta get a what do you call it? Affiliate link for this freaking thing. Oh my god, we should do that. Okay. But I didn't say what it was called on the last podcast, and a lot of people did reach out. It's called the Sleep Right Breathe Aid, or for long, Sleep Right Intranasal Breathe Aid. Okay, stuff that thing up your nose. Richie said, "Does it really help your sleep and sinuses?" I said, "I'm obsessed. Not a day goes by where I don't use this thing at least once. Night and day." Anyways,
Night and Schley.
Night and Schley.
Schley and Night. So this is your podcast, and you're diverting the conversation to Richie Schley.
Well, when we did Dave's podcast, we talked about what what we did on the weekend for 30 minutes.
Was it your trip?
Yeah, we talked about my road trip. And then at the last 20 minutes of the pod, we were like, "Oh, Dave, right? Hey, so how'd you grow up?"
Wait, and was it the one where you saw the van with all the gunsmen coming out of it?
The militia.
Gunsman.
And then you just got shit on by the internet. They all called you liars.
Why would I lie about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But that was our first clip to kind of go semi-viral on YouTube Shorts. So
I mean,
shout out.
controversy works.
37 views.
Yeah, we're like, woo.
Now when we get 100, it's
100,000.
By the way, RIP Oilers.
Yeah,
We're now at that.
fuck them.
I was rooting for the Oilers when I watched.
It's because you're not a dyed-in-the-wool fan.
I was rooting for Canada. And
It's not the Olympics, man.
in that third period,
Purity ring.
my heart was racing.
Yeah, I was excited, but for them to lose.
I don't see them as like a arch nemesis. I see everybody as an enemy in hockey, you know?
There's degrees to enemies for me, though.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's fair.
Now it's all over, you know? Yeah.
But if you're never cheering for anyone else, you're only anti-cheering, you can never really lose. You know what I mean?
But anyways, I won't dive into hockey anymore. What do you guys gonna freaking ask me? What's going on? How deep we going? What do you? I said to Brooke, you're gonna get a text that says, "Hey, what should we do for this or that?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Don't tell him because I want to see how well Jason and Dave know me."
We didn't even need it.
We can come up if they can come up with some zingers.
We have so many this or that.
Did Brooke help at all?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
The most, the most we've ever had for any guest.
And you predicted some answers for ones that would come in, and none of them. I don't think any of them were applicable.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Coming in fresh.
Yeah, we didn't do Dave or Jason, unfortunately. I wanted to though.
I didn't.
Yeah, so we do have questions.
So it's up to you guys to keep this thing on the rails, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, or we do like the Conan thing that you said.
What?
Where he just, if the guest sucks, he just talks to Andy Richter.
Oh yeah.
And they just banter and like.
Okay, well I'm gonna make it my duty to be the worst guest ever.
Perfect.
Jeez. This is not going well, eh?
One word answer. Yeah.
Before we get into it, should I tell my cyclist story that I told you and you said save it for the pod?
It is actually good. No, this is good. This is a good story.
Okay. So my dad.
We'll get to you later in the guest.
You'll be involved. You'll enjoy it.
Oh, good.
My dad and I were hiking in the trails on Sunday, and we were coming down Bridle Trail, like just past where the.
For Christ's sakes, come on.
Just past where the bridge is, you know.
Oh man, I feel the sweat dripping from my armpits. I'm getting nervous, guys. This is the hot seat indeed, hey? Jesus.
Anyway, so I'm walking down the very wide gravel path, and it's mostly hikers, pedestrians, you know, people on foot. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just hear, you know, cyclists coming, and I look, and they're up on us, and there's 4 of them, and they're riding across on the row, and we're kind of in the middle, and there wasn't time for us to kind of like jump to one side or the other really, so we're like, okay, we'll just stand in place, and we kind of stood single file. And they went around us. And then as they're going around us, one of the guys goes, "Hey, how about you pick a side?" Or way to pick a side or something like that. And I was like, what? And me and my dad were just fucking furious.
Wait, hold up.
Dave, I'd like to apologize to you on behalf of cyclists.
So were you in the middle of the road? In the middle of the path?
Yeah, it's a very wide path.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just trying to get to the truth of the matter.
Yeah. And just kind of like just seeing people walking around. People were just kind of like mostly walking kind of in the middle-ish. And...
So I rode my bike to work yesterday, and I was on the other end of that. I'm going at speed, and I'm trying to remember where exactly I was. It's always a couple. It's always 2 people because they're deep in conversation. They're not paying attention. They're not really like aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
It's rarely one person. When you're on your own, you're kind of, you know, you're looking out for yourself. So you're usually off to the side. But as I'm coming up, those thoughts are going through my head. Like as a cyclist, it's so obvious to be like, if I was in your position, if I was walking, I would be off to the side. I'd be cognizant. And I am, even if I'm with Brooke. But that's because I'm the biggest cyclist of all time, right? Obviously, it's on my mind. So I feel the urge to want to say something like, "Hey, like pull over" or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So I get it, but then I never act on it. I never say the person would have to do something really dumb for me to act on it. So
I hear that. In the moment, I was kind of like, oh shit, yeah, maybe we should have been off to the side. But also, we had just been up in the like actual mountain biking trails, whereas this is just, you know, a all access trail. And when we're on those trails, we can like hear the people coming from a distance, and then we're always out very to the side, you know, like we're very on guard for that. Whereas this was very like. It's such a wide road. Like you could fit 20 bicycles across.
When I ride past like the couple that's in the middle of the path, usually I'll ride past, and you know I won't in a dangerous way like cut them off, but I'll try to make it obvious like that I'm going back to the right side where even I belong as a cyclist. Even I'm going to the right, you know, to let any other person who's faster than me pass. But I'll usually look behind me and see, did they get the message? Are they walking over to the side now? And they rarely ever are. They're still clueless. So it's almost like saying like, "Hey, bikers on this path" or something would like help them like, "Oh shit, oh, yeah." But to say, hey, how about you pick a side, you dumbass? That's it's a little bit rude.
It's also like, why even say anything? They were in the wrong.
Yeah. Well,
Lakers.
What'd you yell back?
We didn't say anything.
No, just thought about it in the shower.
Just shit talked for 2 minutes. We were like, what? It felt more like he wanted us to move in the moment, but they came up on us so fast that there was no time. You know what I mean? Like, whereas in other moments, if we're kind of like a little off to the middle, it's like, oh, I have some time and I'll make a big, lane for them. But
I think a great YouTube channel would be putting a GoPro on your chest and just riding around Vancouver every single day and picking out the highlights of pedestrian encounters.
Yeah, it's a New York
I think that, is it?
Yeah, people do that.
I think about that every time I go for a ride in the city. I should have a GoPro on right now. I should have captured that. And then go on 3 Road in Richmond. Oh boy, you get some good clips there.
Fuck.
Good clips. Howdily doody, Chother Nation. You love the show, you love the pod, you love the boys. Well, why don't you support us by purchasing some of our merch on mahalamydude.com.
that's right, Matthew. We've got the finest selection of t-shirts, stickers, and hats you've ever seen. Plus, we even have feeding off each other sticker packs so that you can proudly show off your love for the show on a mug, laptop, your dog, your mom, whatever.
And as a special gift to you, our beloved Chothers, we're offering 10% off your next order with the code FEEDING. That's right. Head to mahalamydude.com and use code FEEDING for 10% off your next order.
And now,
Back to the pod.
All right, guys. Well, how long has it been? 18 minutes? You haven't asked me a goddamn question. What's going on?
Dave.
What was it like growing up in rural Richmond?
Are you reading that?
Nope.
That's the question?
Off the dome.
Oh, is it like reading?
Growing up in rural
We got to
Richmond.
set the scene for the audience.
Okay.
Where did you grow up? How did you grow up?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a was it a ranch? What's the difference between a rancher and a bungalow?
I think they're the same thing.
Are they the same thing?
I'm pretty sure.
One is Jolly and the other one.
Jolly Rancher. One's okay. Gigolo, bungalow. No. In Richmond, somewhere in the Kingswood area. Kingswood. And lived there up until I was in the 1st grade. And then we moved in with my grandmother to a house in central Richmond on Railway Avenue. I'm giving you all the details. You want to know my address, my postal code? How deep you want to go here?
I want to see a birth certificate.
Wait, I missed the house. We got to go back.
You missed the house?
I missed the house. We actually moved to 7 Road.
Oh, okay.
So this is like the most rural place I grew up on.
Did Thomas Vanderham live in any of these houses, or is that just me?
No, that was just you.
That was
just you had the sick previous homeowner.
No, we're talking Richmond. This is the boonies.
I lived in a few houses in Richmond and spent, let's see, how many years? Maybe it was like 4 or 5 years, basically on a farm, like on a cranberry farm in Richmond. Didn't know any of you folks at that time, but didn't have many friends out there either. It's pretty isolated, but that was kindergarten, grade 1 for me.
Quick cranberry farm question. Did we talk about the spiders?
The spiders?
Yeah, because I've heard that there's spiders in the floating water. You know, the water that the cranberries float in?
I feel like there's a lot of insects.
You mean like a water
in that
spider?
I don't know. I would imagine if they're in the water.
I don't know. I never actually have been out in the cranberry field with the waders and everything.
Because I saw, like the ads, the like ocean spray ads, and they're standing in the cranberry water.
Yeah.
And then I've seen comments being like, I always thought that would be a cool place to go, and then I went and there's just spiders everywhere.
It must be those water spiders.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
But there's also probably like bird poo and like a bunch of gross stuff in there.
I thought you were just talking about like regular old spiders in my old rural houses, which
wolf spiders.
Well, yeah, seen a lot of wolf spiders in my day. Yeah, I lived up I grew up in houses that were rough around the edges, and I think I've talked about it in the pod.
Maybe
like developed my fear of rats, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with the spiders these days, but didn't like them back then. Maybe it's because I don't see the size of spiders I used to see. But yeah,
exactly. You're not in such a rural zone anymore.
Yeah.
So okay.
So yeah, spent a few years on the cranberry farm. Relatives out there, cranberry farmers, and then my grandfather died, and my grandmother had a home that she needed some occupying, so we moved in with her and lived with my family, my mother, father, brother, and grandmother for maybe 15 years or something in that house, going to elementary school and high school. But you know that.
Yeah,
you know,
they don't know it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't know if Dave really knew it.
I knew the odds and ends of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you want to know about the farm or whatever that life was like?
Well, yeah, I feel like because you were growing up, you weren't a farmer though. Like your extended family was farming, obviously.
We didn't do any farm work.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
What did your parents do at that point?
They've always worked in like paper business, like printing or kind of the like finishing of printed products, like bindery it's called, putting together the pages, binding the pages, cutting paper. Like we're talking like massive quantities of paper. Right?
Sorry, was this Dunder Mifflin?
Not Dunder Mifflin.
Okay.
No. They've always done that, which and that was like a booming business back in the day
For boomers.
for boomers.
Yeah, it's paper.
Yeah.
So you said that living in rural Richmond is a bit isolating.
What I'm realizing from this chair is that your background, what the guests are mostly saying, it's not that sick. The background sucks. It's a white wall. You got this fridge that's half empty. You got our dishes and shit, a sponge. Like this is not a good. We got to put some frames up or something.
Like when we're just in the interview, because it's not on camera.
No, yeah, it's on camera, but it's just like the vibes for me. Like I want to feel like I'm in the sick, the
Maybe we
the
could
man
have like a
cave or whatever.
curtain rack.
Oh, I don't
Just
think
pull
we
the
need.
curtain
No,
down.
we don't need that. I think we just need to like paint that blue like this and put some frames up. Put some more. We need some more pictures, don't you think? Some more.
Maybe I feel like you're
we're
diverting.
we're deflecting.
No, I don't think so. I think this is all related. It's all related.
So you're isolated on your farm. Do you think that might have fueled some sort of imagination and creativity because you're out there just diddling around by yourself?
What?
What?
Let's see. I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, I spent a lot of time outdoors. We're definitely comfortable outdoors. Like, family did a lot of camping and like hiking and of course biking. A lot of outdoor kind of like recreation. Found myself in the backyard often, roaming about, getting creative with whatever garden or like had a little sand pit actually. We had a playground with a sand pit. Is that what you call it? A sandbox.
Sandbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had like a sandbox, and I remember building sandcastles and having like little micro machines. You guys know those things?
Definitely.
The little mini cars.
Yeah, it's like Matchbox.
And like building like crazy sandcastles and stuff. I feel like my family, we always like to like, when we made Christmas cards or like sandcastles, we always had to make the best version of it. Like we don't just half-ass it. We have to go above and beyond. If we're gonna make a sandcastle, we're spending 4 hours on that fucker and get the whole family involved, you know. And we all have our own tasks. It's like a full construction site going on. We got project managers sitting, watching overview. We got everything.
There's like 3 people doing nothing, but kind of like near the project.
Yeah.
Dressed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's getting paid. But
I feel like that's a bit of an insight into you because you can be a bit of a perfectionist.
oh yeah, big perfectionist. Super big perfectionist. I think I've said it on the podcast too, but like in school too, I feel like my artistic abilities were pretty good. Maybe just naturally a bit gifted with like my penmanship. And I could write pretty early and draw pretty early. And I would lean into that because I never really thought I was the smartest like academic student. Like definitely never felt I was the best at math or like science or anything like that. So I'd always lean into the art. Like I would make the art unbelievable as best as I could. So the teacher was like, geez, man, everything's wrong, but the art's really good. I better give him a B plus, A minus.
You just really nicely wrote out your math equations. It was all wrong, but they're like, yeah, it looks good.
I think like math, like high school math was my first realization. I'm like, shit, I got nothing but answers to rely on. No posters, no fancy shading, nothing, you know?
Hey, Brooke, can you pull up one of the photos of young Matt that we sent you?
Oh yeah, this is good.
No.
I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Where'd you get this?
The team. Yeah, the other one. That one's funny too. So can you just expand this? So you're telling me amongst those kids that you were not as good at math? You're saying you struggle to compete academically.
That's how I found out.
For the audience, the listening audience, we're looking at a photo of Matt at a volleyball team. Was this elementary school still, or is this high school?
This is high school.
Okay, high school. I can't tell.
This is grade. This is 8th grade.
Yeah,
8th grade. Matt is with I would say 9 to 10 other kids.
Oh wait, no, this is 10th grade.
Could have fooled me. He is the only white child there.
Yeah,
and he is surrounded.
No. Oh yes, only white child. There's another white dude, the coach.
Yeah,
he looks tan to me. He looks off-white.
Mr. Bevan. He was my favorite teacher, and he was my coach at one point.
Yeah.
Not to be racist or anything.
But there's a lot of Asians here of various ethnicities, right?
Well, there's an Indian fella there.
Yeah,
that's South Asian.
Kind of Asian, yeah. Yeah, we got. Yeah,
what do we got?
We got there's one Filipino kid, maybe two Filipinos, also Asian, and the rest I don't know, maybe Taiwanese, Albert in there. We got old friends. Anyways.
Oh wait,
yes.
sorry, is there another Albert?
Yes. So going to school with mostly Asian people made me realize I am not that strong at math. But listen here, that realization didn't happen in high school. It happened in kindergarten.
How many Asians were in kindergarten?
Huh?
Wait, were you as...
Oh, it was the same.
Okay, yeah.
It was the same. But you grew up in Richmond too, you know.
Yeah, but I went to the white school.
That's true. You were in Easton. That's true. No, we used to do this thing called the Mad Minute. Google the Mad Minute. Google Mad Minute math. It was 30 math equations. It was just like 8 plus 3, 4 plus 6, whatever, or multiplication or subtraction, whatever. And all the kids, I feel like, in the class would complete that thing, and they'd be doing bonus questions on the back, and I was never able to get to the full 30. Eventually I was. I guess towards the end of the year, I eventually could get 30. And that was a glorious day. But that's when my self-esteem took a hit, because I'm like, damn, I can't math as good as these kids can math. But so yeah, maybe that's what I was like, well, hey, but even in high school, I was gonna say like maybe that was when I leaned into the drawing and stuff. But then I'm just realizing in high school, a little bit in elementary school, that's when I realized, damn, the Asian kids are better at drawing too. Holy shit.
Yep.
They are godly at everything.
They're good at everything.
Well, while you're out there riding a bike, they're at Kumon Math.
There you go. I was the white kid with the hat, wore the hat all the time, and I was riding the mountain bike around. Yeah, I was
Wait, okay.
I was like the hillbilly.
But also context for Richmond, there's a high percentage of Asian immigrants.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Very high.
Is it mostly Chinese?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. And which is awesome, because like that means hold on.
We're great people. Great people. We love them. We love Asian people.
We're not
great
saying
food.
Anything.
Not saying anything denigrating.
No, I feel like both of us probably had a lot of exposure to like Asian food and like Asian culture at a young age, in a good way. Where like now when we go out to Chinese restaurants or even sushi and stuff, it's like a pretty easy experience where you meet kids from other cities in the Lower Mainland who haven't had that. And they're almost like fish out of water.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like when I first started dating Brooke, she'd barely eaten sashimi. I'm like, Jesus. And I had to teach her how to use the chopsticks. And I think there's like a real social anxiety for a white person to go into a full Chinese restaurant and just, not only walk through all the white cloth tables and take a seat and endure all the stares, but then take it a step further and order and say the number instead of the thing and point to the picture. It's like a whole, it's a confidence, a game of confidence. But you get used to it.
You do get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's any culture. It's the same thing. It's not just Chinese. We can go to Iceland and we'd be like, could I get the working surfing?
The seal blubber sandwich?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But you mentioned in elementary school you're riding bikes already. Do you remember the first bike ride you went on? Like first act, not just like riding around the neighborhood, like first dedicated mountain bike ride.
My earliest memories of riding a bike, I do have memories of learning how to ride a bike without training wheels. Because I remember the first crashes. Still remember. Yeah. It's, it's scary when you crash, when you're learning. It doesn't really hurt though, because you got rubber bones. And like, you're not going that fast, but just the meeting pavement for the first time as a kid, that's scary. And I think it left an imprint. But first bike rides, oh man, I mean, it must have been just riding around schools or somewhere around Richmond. I used to do a lot of like urban rides with my dad, right?
Like urban meaning you're going like through the city, like and like hitting stuff along.
Yeah.
The way, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, trying to make a stunt out of whatever we could, right? If we saw like a hill or a little curb to jump off, like we were stunting early on.
Sick.
I can't remember a ride where I was not really stunting, but I do have memories of riding Science World, a little bit of Stanley Park actually, but we would park near Mario's Gelato or whatever it's called.
That's coming up. Don't worry. That's good.
Mario Gelato, and we would park there. We'd ride around Science World. There used to be a hill out there that was like, it felt like the biggest hill ever. Like I'd ride down it, I'd lose my stomach, and I'd just have to get that again. Oh my God. And that was probably my first exposure to downhill riding.
Right.
Was the hill outside. It's funny because we interviewed Jackson Goldstone, who sat here in this chair, and he did similar rides with his dad, which is kind of cool.
True. Yeah. We had photos of that.
But yeah, we would ride past Science World. We'd go down the seawall. We'd ride into Stanley Park and ride back. And that was a big day. That was an epic.
Did you guys ever ride in the UBC endowment lands?
Never rode UBC. I really kind of honed my skills mountain biking behind SFU.
Oh,
the other university.
Burnaby Mountain.
Yeah. Riding like Nicole's and like Gear Jammer and some of those really low trails that I don't even know if they have names, but yeah, the progression was basically like a lot of street riding, and then I think my dad took me to SFU, and then we went to, must have been Seymour. I feel like he must have just threw me into like CBC right away.
Wow.
And then it must have been like Frome, and then one day Cypress, and then the Whistler Bike Park, and then, you know, every bike park, and the rest is history. All right, so is that it?
That's it.
Cool. That was as bad as I thought.
You said the rest is history.
That's
so
awesome. Yeah,
Bada bing, bada boom.
Whoa,
Shouldn't have said something so conclusive.
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, well that's cool. My other first question was, do you remember the first video you ever made?
First video I ever made.
Because I feel like all of this was happening, you know, you're a minority in high school, you're riding around the city. At some point, you must have picked up a camera with you or your dad and documented something.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like some of my creativity came from my mother. She was into photography. She had a proper DSLR. She was taking photos of the family. Some were good, some were out of focus. But we had those photos. I kind of missed that era, you know? People were printing photos. You had photo albums and stuff. Everything's just an iCloud now. It's kind of sad. You got to put it on the wall or something. And again, the Christmas card thing. I feel like that was a huge thing. Like going to
Sears and getting your photo taken?
No, Christmas cards, like making handmade Christmas cards for the family. Like we would just go in on the most extravagant cards you could come up with. And it started with just the crayons. And then it was like, oh, what if we take a flower from the garden and we Scotch tape it to the front? Now we can make a little bouquet on the front. And then one day I got a pop-up card instructional book on how to make pop-up cards. And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then eventually it turned into origami. But just I guess my parents' business in paper, we did have a lot of paper, man. We had a shitload of paper. My mom was just slanging paper. She was giving paper to the school. I was teacher's pet because we'd give pallets of colored paper.
Now you're talking.
That shit's not cheap, right? Every color,
like construction paper.
Not construction paper. That was the thing that was kind of lame about it because kids love construction paper.
Oh yeah.
It was just like printer paper but colored.
Right.
Yeah. So we had all the supplies and stuff, right? And then my dad, his creative side, I guess, was with music. He super talented guitar player. So he's always playing music. And so I guess I'm getting this artistic thing, and then I'm getting the music thing, and it's all just I don't know, bubbling up to me one day being like, yeah, maybe we should make a song, or we should, make some art in a video. So the first video I made, there's a few that come to mind, but the first one that I think is probably the first I ever uploaded to the internet, which I think I've said in the pod, is a stop motion film.
Oh,
it was a Lego stop motion.
Oh, I think I remember this video.
It was Star Wars, even though wasn't crazy Star Wars. I just had Star Wars Lego.
Right.
Probably inherited from my brother. Oh, Lego, that was a big thing too, man. Oh my God, I was obsessed with Lego. Still am. I love that as a creative outlet. So awesome.
Do you have Lego at home?
Oh, I have a massive tub of Lego. Oh, you got to see my tub, Dave. You got to take a look in my box.
Is that at tubgirl.com?
You can put your whole fist in there. You can put your whole body in that tub, I bet you. No, it's many kits and inherited little bits of like odd Lego that we've just saved over the years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyways, where was I?
Stop motion Lego.
Star Wars Lego. I took stop motion, for people who don't know, is like you take a photo and then you move the figurine a little bit, take another photo, and you're animating real life. And I used my webcam. It was like 50, I don't know, no, not even 15, 1 megapixel.
Yeah.
Webcam.
Yeah. Jeez.
And it had a little tripod on it, and I remember it was wired too. And the thing with stop motion is you can't move the camera, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I'd like move the camera a little bit, and I would put books on the wire or something and hope it wouldn't move. And that camera was bouncing around. It was shitty, but yeah, that was probably like one of the first videos. That was the whole process of like script something, make it, and upload it to the internet.
Did you do voices? Or were they talking?
There was sound effects.
Oh. Okay.
Probably still find this video.
Was this iMovie?
Dude, it was like whatever free downloaded software you could find at the time. And there was a watermark that said trial version.
Right.
It said trial version over it.
You just sort of like tell everyone that's what the movie's called?
Trial version.
No, it's like an advanced screening copy.
Yeah.
Don't distribute.
Yeah.
There's that video, and man, I guess my dad eventually we had one digital camera that was the first one that had video on it. I think it's still up there in a bin somewhere.
Whoa.
The first digital camera that had video on it, and we were taking little clips of each other biking at this point. So that was pretty cool to be able to capture. And then you like look at the clip and you're like, oh, that's what I look like. And then, it's kind of, now you want to ride more, then you want to get more clips, and it's just building on each other, right? Feeding off each other.
Feeding off.
There you go. Come on, hit it. Give me that sound, Jay.
Feeding off each other.
Sorry, I moved it.
Yeah, and then eventually we're like, we got to get like POV. So my dad got a this is a photo of my dad?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, look at that. This is an unbelievable photo.
What year was this?
So this is my dad in a
You're probably what, 3 there?
This is 1993 or something, or 1994. I'm probably 1 year old.
See, I saw this photo before and I thought your dad looked like Chad Kruger.
Look at that photo.
So we're in a boat. I'm on my dad's lap. I got a life jacket on. I got a sick roadie hat, which is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. My dad's holding a camcorder, and he's got it looks like pit vipers.
Yeah, they do look like pit vipers.
They're probably Oakleys.
They're sick.
I think I see it. Yeah. No, they're not.
Oh yeah, right.
They're not sick Oakleys,
right.
Jason.
Gross. Oakleys?
They would have been sick pit vipers.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that funny? It's just like, geez, you look in the mirror and you're like, geez, I'm becoming my own man. But yeah, so eventually my dad was like, we got to get POV of these trails. So you get a camcorder. We got a lipstick cam. We threw the camera on our heads, carry the camcorder and a camelback, and now we're getting POV footage. And I remember that was some of the first footage we were collecting. And I think at some point, I realized, man, I could probably make an edit with all this stuff. And I remember throwing together some edits, but never finishing them. And I think it was only up until I met you that it really took off. It was like, all right, edits are like a thing. And it was like, let's, it's not like taking months to make it. Like, let's just make it in like a week. Let's get some shots and it'll be done by the end of the week. We probably even did some in a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, there was on my side, there was no perfectionist. So I was like, just put them all there, get a song, and you're done.
Yep. And also with the music thing and creativity, growing up with a lot of Filipino kids, for some reason I was just always became friends with Filipinos. I think they're just very inviting. They're friendly. They're funny. I don't know what it is. It just always was kind of magnetic to Filipino people. They love music and they love rap music. And I think in those days, early on in the 90s, they were looking at American culture, like hip hop rappers, and they wanted to become that. So I found myself amongst many different groups of Filipino rappers who were actively making music in their bedroom on Cool Edit or
Right.
whatever, and uploading to SoundClick.
Mhm.
So that was like SoundClick. Do you remember that?
A little bit, yeah. That jogged a memory. That's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
And I think I always was magnetic to the kids that were making stuff. But at the
Right.
same time, like I did have my friends who they didn't really make stuff. They just loved to ride their bike or like ride a scooter or rollerblade. Like I still had that very active side. But yeah, didn't have many friends where it's like, hey, you want to like go and study after school? It's like,
Does anybody have friends like that?
Nerds.
Yeah.
well, probably a few from my class, but
Yeah, we saw them.
a lot of smart kids. And I did hold my own in school. I was a pretty smart kid. I had straight A's for most of school. I think, I had a few B's that were like devastating, ruined my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think I got a
What was
C.
the B?
Dude, I had a C in English in grade 12. And you want to know what's the funny part? Asian teacher.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, Mr. Chung.
Not to be
I've-
racist or anything.
Those essays probably weren't very good. But also relative to the people I was submitting with, Jesus, how can I beat those folks?
Well, I mean, in English, you'd hope so, but
Well, no, I don't know, man. They were on some early version of ChatGPT that I wasn't privy to.
okay, you're filming POV content. What year is this now? You have that.
What, the POV thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the earliest POV we filmed was probably like 2003 or something, 2004.
I feel like I remember that camera setup. Like it was in a backpack and it had like it was like a Camelback system almost. Like it had the wire coming out and you had to like put on your head.
We used it in the backyard.
Wasn't
with
it
jumps.
black and white? Or did it have color?
No, it was color, but then when the battery ran low, it would go black and white. Janky things with old technology.
Yeah, we are old. Wow.
Yeah.
So at what point? This is an iconic part of my life too. What point did you start building your yard of dirt jumps? Because that's like the sandbox elevated.
Yeah. Well, I have photos of this on my Instagram. So once
Sure.
upon a time,
We have a photo of it. Brooke, pull it up. It's Matt lying on the ground.
So I was very fortunate to move into this home.
Look how fortunate you were.
Yeah, this is pretty late on. This is
pretty late.
This is like grade 12 or something like that. Is it? Maybe not actually, because the P3. This might be grade 11.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was pretty fortunate to have that yard because we moved in with my grandmother. They had an acre of land in Richmond. My grandfather bought it for $500, I think is the story, back in like the 50s.
Insane.
And they built a house. I didn't inherit that money, by the way. I don't have. I'm not gonna be starting any bike parks of my own soon. Let's just say.
Sorry, Rhett. But you do know a bunch of billionaires that you are going to get them in contact with, right?
That's true. I do know. I know a billionaire.
Right.
I know a multi-billionaire. But well, that's another pod. So we moved in and we had this big yard. Like it was just an epic yard. And one day, but I should also say that this yard wasn't manicured. It wasn't like an acre of like perfect grass. It was like a mess. It was blackberries. It was overgrown. You had to get a tractor in there with like a lawn mowing device on the back, and they had to work on it like all day to just get it to like, not like even, I don't know, just like ugly brush.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's not like forest, but it was like just blackberries and like high grass.
Super
and
tall
like,
grass.
Yeah, like
Untamed land.
like untamed. Yeah, but like no trees really. It was just like shrubs and like really dense, thick.
No trees.
Foliage.
At one point, it was a lawn.
Oh,
And my
okay.
grandfather, he had built gardens. He had a greenhouse. He had a glass greenhouse that one time kids came up with rocks in their hands and smashed all the panes of the greenhouse. Yeah. So my yard that I grew up in, it was between my elementary school, like the fence borderline the elementary school and my yard. So every kid in the school, basically, if they're in the yard, they're looking over like, whoa, that's a big yard. And eventually, I don't know if it was kids or us, but someone cut a hole in the fence. And, that's how I would go to school every day. I'd go through the hole, and then there was another hole, and then kids would just go in. And all the time, kids were trespassing and like
Right.
walking in. Someone lit my backyard on fire. That happened twice, actually.
I think I remember.
But
this.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah.
So, okay, we had this big yard, and it was untamed. But one day, my dad, he says, so do you want to go ride mountain bike trails? Or do you want to build trials in the backyard?
And he said, "You say trails or trials?"
Do you want to build trials? before that, like a week before that, we had taken, those green boxes from Superstore, those like grocery boxes. They've been around forever. We would take those and like just like loose lumber. Maybe my brother brought them home from like construction sites or something. I don't know where this lumber came from. A lot of construction happening in Richmond at the time around Terra Nova.
Yeah.
We'd just have like piles of loose lumber. We would make like little balancing beams. We'd put them up on the boxes. We'd connect a piece of plywood from one box to the other, and we would just, we'd balance on them. And what my dad meant by trials was, and I didn't even understand at the time, he wanted to make that but permanent, all of wood.
Right.
So we wanted to make, like North Shores.
North Shore, yeah. The North Shores.
Just like log skinnies, or like teeter-totters and ramps and drops. He wanted to make that. I didn't fully understand that. But at the time, my dad had some like grand idea of like what that was going to be, right? Because he was riding the trails in the North Shore, and he's like, we could build this in the backyard.
Right.
So I guess I said, let's build trials, wondering what that meant. And then it was like, I was super young, so I probably wasn't doing that much. I was probably like holding nails or just being annoying, but we got to work. And it was building these epic trials that then, it was one up ramp that turned into a up and a down, that turned into another up and a down to a teeter-totter. And then, hey, we could split this and you could go even higher. Now we're going 10 feet tall. Now we got a drop. Now there's another drop. Now we're going to build off that side for an even skinnier skinny. Now that's going to go up. We got a road gap now over here. We got a berm made of wood. We got a teeter-totter. It kept going, going. And I guess, I was too young. I never rode that stuff much. I rode the easiest stuff.
Right.
But my brother, 6 years older than me, he was very good at biking too. He was riding all that stuff, and he had his friend group, and they were out there, I guess, building and coming up with ideas and riding pretty much every day. And then they would also go on urban rides. And I was the younger brother, like, hey, can I tag along? And I was the like little brother, 10-year-old amongst a bunch of, I guess, I don't know, maybe like 16, 17-year-olds just riding around Richmond, trying to, hold my own on the bike, like dropping off shit.
Yeah.
And I think I got a little street cred with like the older kids.
Just by like sending it, you mean?
I guess sending it and just being in the know, like understanding what the whole like biking thing was about. And like, I was probably a piece of shit, a little annoying kid, but I don't know. Actually, I do remember that at one point, I remember he had this one friend, they went back to his house and it was like, all right, we're all going back to his house. And I remember like this vague memory of me sitting on the lawn and like, am I going to get let in? And I don't think I ever got let in, and I just went home. I don't think they knew.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, but anyways, yeah. So we had those trials, and then eventually we tore them all down, I guess. Cause like just over time you stop riding this stuff, right? You're too familiar with it.
I was going to ask, like, did anyone, like the city, come by or like, walkers by and be like, hey, you can't have like ladders in your yard, or is this fine?
I don't think we ever had complaints. That's cool. We had cool neighbors. The neighbors could see everything for sure. They had a clear view, but I don't think they really cared. It was a little bit of privacy there. But I think the reason we tore all that down was because at one point my brother then got into BMXing. He kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, he preferred that over mountain biking, and he wanted to build a dirt jumps with a huge roll in, and he built it, and it was so tall. This thing was so tall, and I'm surprised that never got complaints.
Was it taller than the next one?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's big.
This thing, and it didn't have any guardrails at the top or anything.
Oh god.
It was like rickety. Man, this thing was so tall. Like I want to say it was almost as like getting up there towards the ceiling, man. It was, but I was a young kid, right? So everything seems a little bigger.
True.
But it was really tall. And he was building jumps, and
these are the trials.
The city never ever complained about it, but that was what one night we woke up to, that roll-in on fire.
What?
Yeah.
Like someone set it on fire?
We saw an abandoned jerry can. Someone poured gasoline at the base of it, and then they lit it on fire and they left. And we had like the what do you call it? The fire department. Fire department.
Yeah.
Thank you. They came through with the hose and they had to spray it down. Fortunately, it wasn't like a crazy, nothing bad happened. It wasn't a crazy fire, but we were really fortunate because one of those neighbors, they actually called the fire department. They came home late and it was like 1 a.m. They're like, holy shit, what the hell? It's on fire.
That's so fucked.
And we were sound asleep. So I don't know what that was. If, like my brother's in high school at that point. I don't know if he had an enemy or if like it was the city. We got to tear this thing down, but
I don't think it was the city of Richmond.
probably not, right?
It's their midnight burn program.
Yeah.
Who's lighting the Gastown buildings on fire?
What? I don't know.
City? Is it insurance fraud?
Oh,
a
yeah,
thing?
for sure. Insurance fraud.
Oh, okay. Is this a thing that's happening right now?
I don't really know the story. It's happened.
C-bus memes.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
poke
Well,
fun of it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's
That's where you get your news, right?
That's where I get my news. Like all these mysterious fires of like really old buildings, and then new one pops up to gentrify.
I always assume if a business burns, it's insurance fraud.
Really?
Yeah.
Not because it's like a 100-year-old building with shitty wires and like mice in there and bad
I
grease
think-
traps.
I don't know. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. You know. Like, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty common. I think it's deceptively common.
You see that little teeter-totter there?
Yes.
My brother had a friend. He came over one day. He rode the teeter-totter. He shinned himself, and there was blood. His mother was some sort of like doctor. She worked in the hospital. Maybe it was like psychiatric doctor though. She wasn't like an ER doctor. She had a fear of blood.
Oh God.
And she comes over to make sure it's all good, and she was like, "Oh God, I'm getting woozy. I can't look at this." I was like, "What? I thought you worked at the hospital." That same kid, we brought him camping one year, and he was chopping wood, and he just barely chopped off the tip of his finger. He chopped off just the tip of it, and I guess he had some of the same fear of blood too. He sits down for a bit because he's getting lightheaded. He sits in a chair. My family is sitting off the other side of the campsite, and they see the kid fall over in the chair and start convulsing. And they're like, "Oh, Pete, he's an actor, right? He's in acting classes in high school. Oh, he's going to be the next, Broadway star." But he was fully having a seizure because of the reaction to seeing his own blood.
You can have a seizure, like an emotional seizure.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
Well, he's having like an
emotional seizure.
He's having like an emotional, psychological reaction to seeing blood, is what you're saying. Whereas I thought a seizure was always more
Like your brain misfires.
Yeah, it's more of like a physically.
Yeah, I don't know. Raises your levels of chemicals, your heart rate. I don't know.
Oh, see, look at that seizure routine. Nah, it gets us every time.
So funny. So funny.
He looks like one of those wind-up toys that just kind of bounce around on the ground.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a good shot. That's that's the
good.
backyard trials. And what a cool dad move by my dad to decide, fuck it, let's build a bunch of shit in the backyard.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Also a cool dad move to get frosted tips.
Yeah, the OG. Yeah, I'm just following all the footsteps, eh?
Your brother's in the front there?
That's my brother on the left. Manon. That was the guy's house who I got left on the grass. Never invited me in. And then the guy in the back, Asian guy, Ray. That might have been like the only time I remember seeing that guy.
Just in that photo.
Yeah, I think Ray was his name. We also had a tree house in the back. Oh man. And living on that property, having an acre, like I had all sorts of friends. I had friends who didn't ride bikes. We would, the imagination just ran wild in that yard. Like, you got super soakers, you're playing cops and robbers, you're making up games, whatever you can come up with. Like child imagination is the best thing ever. And it was kind of like a little bit of a maze in that yard. There was like a backyard and separated by some gardens, and then another like section of a yard, and then there was the shit of like the blackberries and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's just like so many like levels of the yard, and it was fun to mess around.
It's kind of crazy seeing this photo where it's all grass still for the most part. I think even the first time I went there, it was like a lot of blackberries, overgrown even to this point in the yard.
Well, every year we would hire the same guy to come through with a tractor. We would see that wooden fence?
Yep.
We would tear a section of that fence down, and the tractor would come through, and then he would do the whole yard.
Right.
It was like an annual thing. Eventually we stopped. And you know why we stopped? Because we built dirt jumps and the guy couldn't get through there anymore. But also when my brother built his dirt jumps with that massive roll-in, he was throwing like junk and like logs into the dirt jumps. He was
as Phil.
As Phil.
Yeah.
So if a tractor went over that, it'd be bad.
So so the Roland burns down.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Roland.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the end of the dirt jumps though.
No. I mean, that got burnt down. It got compromised, so we had to tear it down. And then I guess I don't know. I guess my brother kind of like fell off the backyard riding for a while. At some point, I'm growing up. I'm becoming more independent. My imagination's getting a little bit more ambitious. The Legos are turning into maybe I could build some dirt jumps. Mm-hmm. And my mother had a vegetable garden, and I think she wasn't planting it that year. I don't know. She fell off the vegetable gardening train a little bit. And I said, hey, can I use the vegetable garden to build a jump instead? So I built a jump. And it was a really shitty jump. It was really small. And it was just me. I didn't know you guys.
No.
Built it all on my own. Very, very small. And then that turned into another jump. And then another jump. And then I was like, hey, Mom, bring some pallets from home. I'll build a little wall ride thing. And once I had all that together, at that point, I was on NSMB forums, and I saw Liam, friend of the pod,
Milani,
him make a self-edit. I was like, I got to try this out. It was with one of the old camcorders we had. So I tried to make my own self-edit of the backyard jumps.
It's like a silent biking.
Yeah, it was like a silent biking. Yep.
Did you post that?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like I saw that.
Yeah.
And that even might have been the first time I knew about you in your yard. And I was like, this is pre-social media. I was like, what the hell? Is this in Richmond? Like,
yeah.
Where is this?
And that was when Jason was like, I got to be friends with this guy. Because there was a lot of people when you find out like, oh shit, they got jumps in their backyard. Hey, Facebook friend ad. Like, what's up, man? Saw the yard. And now you're like trying to become friends with them to like get that invite.
For sure. I mean, we grew up in Richmond. There's not much going on, right? So it's like we had the bike park and the skate park, but there was a large, I would say for Richmond, a large portion of people rode bikes.
And Jason and I, Jason never it was an authentic friendship, Dave. It wasn't like one day Jason was just like, can I yeah. It wasn't
phase one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm wrong. Joke's on me. I got egg on my face. No, but I had plenty of people who then, once the yard
name names
became a little bit more popular, it was like they're just coming over to ride the thing. But it's like you build it and they will come. It's like if I were to build a mountain bike trail, I'd hope people want to ride it. I want it for myself for a little bit, but then go wild on it. It should be for everybody.
There is a limit though, because it's your house. So
yes.
And I remember. Yes. Do you ever go? We had a friend named Gary, and he had a yard.
Never went.
In Mission.
Didn't get the invite.
Yeah, you should see phase one. I went a couple times, but he actually had his parents had made a waiver. You had to sign.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Before riding those jumps, and they were gnarly. They were super big jumps and really sketchily built. And yeah, I signed the waiver because his parents were like, I don't know you. If you fall, you could sue us, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but then you take that to court, and it's like, yeah, there's probably some way to get around that. It's like, well, are you incorporated? What's the waiver? Who's written to the waiver? Da, da, da. I don't know.
There's a 30-foot wood rolling in your yard.
Yeah, is this approved? Is this permitted? There's some way around that.
For sure.
Yeah, I think we definitely had the discussion of waivers because kids were thrown down.
For sure.
People doing backflips, tail whips, falling, crashing. Our friend Mike Chen eating shit on his face every day. Me too. Mm-hmm. Well, we were getting gnarly. It was our training ground. And I mean, by the time, we decided to build our own dirt jumps, right? And eventually I grew out of the dirt jumps that I self-filmed. I was like, I can't be pedaling my ass off from the house to hit a set of dirt jumps every time. I need a roll-in.
Yeah.
So I asked my dad if he would help me build a roll-in. And at this point, it was like the third time building something in the backyard. And he was like, all right, this thing's got to be safe. And he overbuilt the thing like crazy. It had 7,000 braces on it. It had a railing 17 feet high, electric fence. It was really safe. Mm-hmm. And then we could build whatever we want. And it was like, okay, we actually got speed. Mm-hmm. So that's when we really started to team up, and we were like, we're going to spend every day out here trying to build proper jumps. And boy, were those jumps mediocre.
I don't think so. I think they were good for the time, right?
I don't know, man. I had big plans. I really wanted to rent a Bobcat or a back excavator, a small excavator or something, but my parents were not really into it. I tried. It was going against the grain. But if we had got in there and we had really dug it up, holy shit, man. The vision that I had for some jumps, I don't know if they would have worked, but man, we were thinking a whole set, right?
It was tough though. It was tough. Richmond, right? It's underwater. So if you dug down, if you dug a pit of dirt to use for a jump, if you dug down more than a foot, you're digging into waterlogged.
Oh
dirt.
yeah, we
like
can
gnarly dirt. It doesn't work for dirt.
and we could not ride in the winter.
Yeah.
On the first gnarly like cold rain of the season, every hole just filled up. But if it wasn't for that, IFHT wouldn't exist because it was winter when we're like, hey, we can't film anything with riding. Why don't we film a sketch?
Which segues into my next question.
Wow.
How did...
It's almost like I'm keeping this thing on the rails for you. Huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Dave,
Thanks.
you haven't said anything in a while. Are you learning about me, or am I just repeating shit I've already heard and watching them all in my dude video?
No, I didn't know most of these sort of in-depth details. Like I've gotten like the short version of like, and then I had some jumps in my yard, and like that was kind of like the whole summary.
No. So, sorry, yes and. Yes and, you sound like that. You, at this time, were still making videos, like before, say, IFHT started, like throughout the yard.
Yeah.
You were still shooting stuff.
Yeah.
We were going on like mountain bike trips. We went to like Silver Star with your family.
Yeah.
And Whistler, obviously, and the shore. And you were making stuff.
Yeah, I was making stuff.
Yeah. Where like, what? But at that point, was there like a goal where you're like, I got to keep making stuff. This is what I want to do, or is it just like that's fun?
Why were we making stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, because at that point, I feel like we were making a lot of things together. Was I making much on my own?
I think you were. I
mean, like in school, I was still trying to find like drawing was my thing, right? Drawing and coloring and making art, that was my thing. And then eventually it became videos. It was like, oh, I can do this really well if I put like as much time into it. And nobody else can do this. So maybe I lean into this. So in school, I was making like videos for anybody who needed one. I made the grad video, which people loved. That was awesome. I was making like videos for like people running for president. That's at high school. I was filming wedding videos. I remember in English class, we had to make a video and we made like what was it? A Macbeth parody. It was The Office.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to make comedy then.
Yeah.
I always, I like to hang out with like the funny kids. We're always the class clowns in class. So yeah, I don't know. We were making stuff in school too. Just not even the bike stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was your question?
Yeah, like you were making videos for stuff, I guess, like in high school. But
why were we making them?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the first videos, I think there's just like a thing of like, can I do it? Like it's with the stop motion thing, it's mostly just like, can I do it? It's something to do. Mm-hmm. And then I think once it becomes at school, it's like, it's a little bit of like cred with your peers. You're like, oh, well, I want to make like a funny video for English class so everybody's laughing when we present it, right? Everybody wants to, get like the thumbs up or the chuckle or whatever. You want to get approval from your peers. So looking for external validation at that point. And then I think like the end of high school, I mean, there's a lot of phases of external validation because NSMB forums, we were trying to get some cred on that too.
For sure.
Because they had the rep points. It was like, that's like equivalent to like Reddit.
Like an upvote.
Upvotes, yeah.
Mm.
We're like, oh, maybe we'll get some more reputation, which, it wasn't just us trying to get rep. Everybody on the forum was trying to get rep.
For sure. There was like rep. Wasn't there like rep circle jerks kind of like where you would like rep someone and they would rep someone and you kind of like bounce it around?
And there was also people trying to actively get the lowest rep possible.
Yeah, that was also
Well, I won't name names though, but so a little bit of that, but and then maybe like once the YouTube or like the comedy YouTube stuff started to kick off, that's like Facebook days, right? So it's like different kind of thumbs up, and you're like, I don't know. I think it's like once you get the laugh from someone, you get a little bit addicted. You're like, oh damn, I made them laugh. I made it feel good. I spread some joy, and then like maybe I made their day with this video. You want that more, right? It's like it's also self-validating because you're accomplishing something on your own, but. Yeah, sometimes I feel like a piece of shit. I'm like, is my whole life trajectory just based on likes on various social websites? Is that without a thumbs up on Facebook or a rep on NSMB, would I be who I am today?
That's human nature though. That's like, if you're working as an accountant, you want to do well usually so that your boss sees and they go, good work. You get a raise, you can move up through the company. It's like, being rewarded for anything you're doing is like a lizard brain.
But what about like the, famous painters? They're not validated during their life at all until they die.
But they are often, they're most of the time they're looking for it and they just never got
found
it.
They never get it.
And a lot of them died young or committed suicide.
Because they were depressed
because they didn't. Yeah.
Well, then maybe I'm thankful of my trajectory.
They weren't appreciating their time.
Thank God for those.
It's like developing a sense of humor. People laughed and you got have validation to keep trying.
It's also like probably why you got so, I would say, so good so quickly was you had this like really quick turnaround in terms of feedback. If you're like, oh, people are laughing, I did good. Like, let's do more of that. If something didn't,
and if you fuck up, you know.
If you fuck
up, real
know.
quick.
You know.
Like when you guys made Mario's Gelato.
We're skipping all over. If someone's writing out the timeline, taking notes right now for their university thesis on Matt Dennison, I've been reached out a lot to for like interviews. People want to do like university, college, high school projects. They have to reach out to someone. I've done a lot of random interviews with like 15-year-old kids, 20-year-old.
Like in your basement, like in your underwear.
Excellent.
Remotely,
yeah,
on Skype. Yeah, and it feels weird. Those are the only interviews I get. Besides that, my own show. It's the only place I can score an interview.
With 15-year-old boys?
Yes.
Or sometimes 19. Okay, so where are we at in the timeline? Because Dave's...
We're in high school.
Have we ever said how IFHT started on this podcast?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Okay, cool. Skip it.
For sure. I'm pretty sure we did it on your episode.
That's the question that just kills me. Like, how'd you get started? It's probably why I want to say no to every podcast ever, because they're like, so how'd you get started?
Yeah.
What's your process? Well, it's like, oh my God.
Well,
you know, the story feels so like it feels obvious to you that when you're like in the middle of it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm just on autopilot. You're like, how do I shorten this? I need to chat GPT this. Like, tell me, how can I explain this story in 2 sentences?
Yeah, I know. It is very brutal. But I think like early days IFHT is still worth talking about, because I remember there'd be times when we were like, oh, let's go out and film. And we'd be like, are we filming an IFHT video or are we filming a biking video? Right? Like did you ever have that internal conflict of like what to make today?
Problem.
Huh?
You still have that problem.
Yeah, different ways.
This was like comedy, no bikes at all, like stupid, silly idea we have, or are we going to go to the trails or the jumps or whatever and film and edit?
Yeah, because Jason and I, we would get together. Like he would come over and we would, if we were filming an IFHT thing, we wouldn't have a script. We wouldn't even have a fucking idea. We'd literally just show up and it's like, okay, what are we going to do? Yeah. And I have handwritten scripts of some of the videos we eventually did. That's like literally in Jason's writing. We're like writing it on my desk in my room. We're like, okay, this is going to be it. And we go out to my front yard and we film it. The good old days, right? What was your question? I'm not
Did you
listening.
have that internal conflict of what to film?
I don't think so. I don't think I ever. I mean, when?
It would be like early days IFHT, say, because it started in the winter when we had nothing to do, and then, but it did get nice eventually, and at some point, we'd definitely have to make the decision.
I don't know about those days. I feel like it was just like whatever's exciting in the moment. You're just bouncing around to whatever idea is cool in the moment. I mean, that's almost like more of a problem now because we have so many ideas in the bank, and then you come up with a new one tomorrow. The new one seems shiny and the best, right? Because it's the most exciting. It's like hard in that way. It's hard to decide what to choose. But I feel like back then it was just like, I don't know, like. What even were some of those early videos we were making?
Well, there was Toothbrush Tragedy. No's My Nintendos.
Okay. We may have explained the story in the past, but maybe we should give the Coles notes.
Yeah,
we're leaving it out. Okay.
I think so.
Okay, we're on MSN Messenger one day. And familiar? Did you have an MSN Messenger? What was your username? Let me guess. It was just David.
Yes.
Oh, that's such
really?
a David username, huh?
Just David.
No risks.
Did you ever send a friend request, or were you just waiting for them to come to you?
Listen, I talked to lots of people on MSN.
Men or women?
Boys.
Boys.
Mostly girls.
Sick.
Okay, mine was like squiggly, XX_ dirt merchant, bat emoji, ...
You had a sick green font, which was unheard of at the time.
I feel like
that's what my brother did it.
I feel like I had some flourishes. I just don't remember, and I feel like these things change depending upon.
Eventually, maturity got the best of us, and it was just Matt. I think. Matt space. It was M space A space T space T. Like
sick.
You had
Very
to like
aesthetic.
make aesthetic, but mature.
Aerial font.
Anyways, we're on MSN Messenger, and it's winter. It sucks, and we're like, man, maybe we should just like film some comedies because we had I guess we had borrowed a camera from a friend. We had
first HD.
Yeah. First 4 4K camera we
No.
What?
720p. The camcorder? 4K?
This is Ben's camera.
Yeah.
4K.
4K?
Are you 4K right now?
I thought it was 4K.
No. It was definitely like 720p. This is the time.
But it was called like high def. It was like HD something.
Yeah, but HD.
Back then, that was like 720, maybe 1080.
Imagine a 4K camera back then.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe
I wonder.
1080. It could have been 1080.
I'm curious.
What year is this?
This would be 09.
Yeah, I had a 720
okay.
TV in 09.
You're right. It was just the first 1080p like high def camera
For sure.
because before that it was all like digital or like
Like
a standard def.
like VHS.
garbage
Yeah,
like a 480p whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was the first camera. I was like, whoa, this looks pretty sharp.
It looked good.
And so I had this, and I had used it to film an edit of that friend that we in my backyard.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to become like a sponsored rider, and he wanted an edit. So I helped him out, but he let me borrow it for a while. And I was like, shit, we have this. Why don't we film something? And we're like, why don't we film like a comedy? What should we do? Why don't we just? And I think it was. I think I said, why don't we do like
Probably.
like the series on like things we hate, like do like pet peeves, because I guess it was just easy material. Still is, I guess.
Rage bait.
We're doing that now. Pet peeves.
Yeah.
Little has changed. And yeah, I don't know. Do you remember the conversation? I was like, why don't we make something funny? You don't remember?
No.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I remember like kind of clearly. I said, let's make comedy. Let's just do short hits and let's upload it to Facebook. And so my pet peeve at the time was when I was brushing my teeth as an Aries, out of control, too fast, too furious. The toothbrush would kind of miss my mouth as I'm like, don't gift that. Quick. And it would slide out of my mouth and it would scrape across my cheek. Like the bristles of the toothbrush would just scrape my cheek and I nearly poke myself in the eye. I was just too crazy. There's too much fire in my soul, right? I'm not patient. I'm not super
You go to the
patient,
dentist, they're like, you have no enamel left.
Your gums are
Just
bleeding.
Violently brushing your teeth.
I was using soft bristle. Okay.
Smart.
I was like, why don't we make a video on that? I guess Jason was like, okay. So we got that 1080p camera. Was there a fisheye on it?
It was probably pretty wide.
One shot, we had a fisheye.
Yeah.
Borrowed from like my brother's girlfriend at the time. Anyways, and it was me running down the stairs, running through the house, going to the bathroom, picking up my toothbrush out of the cup, brushing my teeth, turning on the tap, and then in slow-mo, we didn't even film it in slow-mo. No. It was 24p, but I did it in slow-mo. It was the toothbrush scraping across my cheek, and then I went, and I cut myself off because I didn't want to swear in the house because I was a little scared to swear around my mother. And also I was living with my grandmother, right? Who was deaf. Grew up with a deaf grandmother, which is interesting. Hard of hearing. And then it cuts to Spanish Flea.
Yeah.
You know the one.
I feel like you were doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong?
Yeah.
And do. And then it was like, oh, this is the format. And then every single, and that was 30 seconds long. And it basically was like our first crash course into trying to make a shot list on the fly of like, well, how do you in video show the journey of me leaving my bedroom, going to the bathroom, picking up a toothbrush and brushing my teeth. But I don't even think we really realized at the time. We're like, oh, we're like learning how to make films here. It was just like, let's just make something funny, right?
I was thinking about that the other day for some reason. And I think actually like mountain biking may have helped because with mountain bike filming, you're usually shooting the top of the trail, you shoot the drop in, and then you shoot all the features to the bottom. And you're kind of like showing continuity in that sort of way. It kind of does apply to running through your house. Same sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, even the early on mountain bike videos, we were learning how to make a shot list too. Because if you do it bad and you're throwing clips into an edit that weren't shot with like good angles that don't make sense, it just feels wacky. So every frame is a painting.
You were learning the language of cinema.
There you go. And we were making the first I Fucking Hate That's, and they went on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the second one was called Oh No, My Nintendos. And you know what the pet peeve was? It was when your Wii remote battery dies in the middle of playing. Because we used to shred Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Like the itinerary for the day would be like, go to Matt's, like dig until like noon, and they got really hot, and then it'd be like raid Matt's freezer collection of freezies. Yeah.
I don't know. I probably fed you guys a lot.
Probably.
A lot of nachos,
and then like session Super Smash Brothers Brawl for like 3 hours, and then go dig for a bit and ride for a bit till it got dark.
And eventually that turned into sleepovers.
Yeah.
We brought a tent onto the roll-in. We literally put a tent on the roll-in. We brought a CRT TV up the roll-in, 13 extension cords powering it, and then we slept in the tent and played Super Smash Brothers all night.
Sick.
It was pretty sick.
I've done the yard camping with the CRT TV and the extension cords.
It's really cool.
It's great.
Priceless.
I need a moment to get a charger.
I watched the movie How High one time in that camping situation.
What's that?
It's called How High. It was with Method Man and Redman.
Okay.
And they go to high school, but then they get high a lot.
That was a TV show?
It was a movie.
Okay.
We rented it. There was
even back in the day, I wasn't watching movies.
yeah. You're smashing with your bros.
Staying ignorant. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a first.
But actually, the movies that I did watch, they were all comedies. I feel like, Dumb and Dumber. It's got a big impact. And comedy, Napoleon Dynamite. Remember, my parents said, "You got to watch this. You're gonna
really."
Yeah, they got like 2 minutes in, and in the intro credits, they're doing the names with like ketchup on the plate, and mustard beside the hot dog and whatever. And I think my dad right away was like, "Oh, Matthew's gonna love this." Matthew, my full name, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I should have said that in the intro.
Yeah, you missed it. You missed the meaning of my name, Matthew. Biblical meaning: gift from God. I think about it every day when I wake up.
False advertising.
I have a big banner.
You know what David means?
I'll plead the fifth.
Salmon.
It means beloved.
Really?
I think so.
Mm.
My mom had these. Yeah, my mom had these like little, I don't know, poster things framed with our names, and that had the meanings.
Jason, any meaning there? Any significance to your name?
Yeah, I think I didn't have a name when I was born, and then I had.
Well, no one does.
Let's turn this back into the Jason pod. I'm more interested in Jason's life.
So when I was born, I had jaundice. I was a yellow baby. I was a Simpson, and so I had to be put into a little incubator. And when I was in that incubator, I apparently like kicked so hard that it blew out one of the plastic sides of the incubator. And my mom was like, "It's pretty strong." Call him Jason, like Jason and the Argonauts. And Jason usually means like strong.
Now he's 32, kickstarting beers like nobody's just
like his legs still
like he's trying to kick it out of his little jaundice pod.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like you were trying to pedal a bike in the bubble.
Just trying to break out.
Bubble Boy. We should call him Bubble Boy. Jason Bubble Boy Lucas.
He was pod crashing at that point.
That's what?
Pod crashing. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So you guys have gone through all the 2 of the frequently asked questions. What else? Wait, I'm not more than just bikes, guys. Come on.
What else are you?
I don't know. That's really it. Work.
Scrolling.
This
was straight out of high school. You know, most people are going on to college and university. Mm-hmm. You did go on to film school.
Mm-hmm. Little bit. Can hardly call it film school.
Well, it was a school where film was studied.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure in high school. A lot of my peers, you saw them photographed there. They all had plans. Oh yeah, I'm going to UBC. That's my top choice. Princeton, Harvard, legit. I'm not even joking. Harvard, Queens, wherever. They all got like ABC plans, and probably a lot of the parents paying for it or something. There was like plans there. Didn't have that kind of scratch in my family to be hitting up the UBCs and the whatnots. Definitely wasn't really part of the cards. It was like, I'm probably going to go to college. Mm-hmm. So, but I feel like there was shame around it when I was in high school. There was shame. I mean, at the time I was dating someone who their plan was UBC. Then I was like, I feel like the dummy. I feel like lower than everybody else. There was shame, man. I was like Douglas College, Kwantlen College, Capilano, Langara. Like, where was I going to go? What was I going to do? I thought at some point, like, in grade 12, you have to like do like research on jobs, like career fairs and shit. Mm-hmm. I was wondering like what I was going to do. I knew I like Lego and building things and doing stuff with my hands. I'm like brick masonry. I like drawing. Maybe I'll be like architect. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll I don't know, things like that, like trades and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't jiving, man. It was like stressing me out. And I think there was nothing there that felt authentic to me. And I kind of forgot about this, but my mom tells me one day we're driving and she says, what do you want to do? And I say, I just want to make videos and ride my bike. Apparently I said that. So
She probably was so anxious once you said that.
yeah, Jesus Christ.
There's no career in that.
Yeah. So, I guess from there it was like, all right, I guess we should pursue film. We're making a lot of videos at that point. And I guess also at that point, like in high school, a friend had pointed out YouTube partnerships. So we knew there was money to be made in YouTube. So it felt a little bit more like, oh, there's actually a career potentially.
Potentially. I
But
mean,
I
that
don't-
was very early YouTube.
I don't think that we were like, oh, we're going to make a career out of YouTube.
No.
It was just like, I could make it in film.
Yeah.
Because one of my teachers growing up, Mr. Hansen, he's a mountain biker. He knew my brother. They had a mountain bike club. He knew about me and he knew about my like skills and film and interest. And he saw me making the grad film in school. And at the time, his ex-wife, she was a script supervisor for like a TV show. And I was texting her. I was trying to get a job. I was trying to become a PA.
Yeah.
And I don't think she ever, I think she then she handed me off to another person. And I think I sent a message. I never got any call. I never got the PA job, which is probably the best thing.
Probably a good.
I also sent in an application to White Spot. Never got a reply back.
That's awesome.
There was one more job. Oh yeah. And then also in high school, I think I sent an email to Ambrose Weinhardt. He's a cinematographer. He shoots mountain bike films. They were filming something in Kamloops. And I sent an email. I waited a year for a response. And then one day they hit me up and said, hey, we actually need a filmer. We need a BTS filmer. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
I already have a job at this point. I was working with MTB, but I would love to come. So I asked my boss, hey, can I come? Maybe we can double dip and I can make the BTS, but you can premiere it on your website. And that was like my first little gig. But I totally, just by a hair, missed the like classic film set career. You know, I would have been a PA. I would have been figuring out how to move up the ladder. Who knows? Who knows what a...
You would have been like, yeah, like, oh, one day I got to touch the camera, you know, and then like probably progressed onto like actually using the camera and that whole thing.
Yeah, like I think at that point I always thought I was going to be the like cinematographer, the DP, right? At that point you don't know what a set decorator is and
Totally.
just like all these, you know, gaffer and grip. You don't know what all that shit is.
I didn't know what a director was until I was like 19.
Me neither, man. Me neither. I can go back into emails like 5 years ago or something where I'm still, my signature is like producer because I didn't have the balls to call myself director. But I don't think I'd ever become that. But basically all that means is you're the person, you're deciding where the camera goes.
Who?
The director. At the heart of it, it's just the person who decides where does the camera sit in each shot.
I feel like that's more the DP.
No.
Wrong.
No.
No?
They can advise, but they would be like, okay, like what's the light look like? How are we gonna mood it? Where can I direct my team? Where are they gonna put the lights? Where are they gonna put the?
I would just say
whatever.
there's a lot of directors or some directors, like I saw Kevin Costner in an interview recently. He's like, I don't know anything about aperture. I don't know about the lens. I don't care that much where the camera goes. He's like, I care about story.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think there's so many different types of directing, so many different like ways to approach it. But I don't know. I must have read that on the internet one time and stuck with it.
You're just the CEO of the project, basically.
Yeah. You're the guy that answers. But yeah, I mean, it's like at an early age, we were making these IFHT videos, and like I guess I was kind of directing them because it was like, well, where do we shoot it? How do we do this? What angles? You know? And I didn't realize at the time. I think it was just like, producing it. I don't know.
For sure. You're doing everything. Your sound, your color, your editing, you know, doing everything. What so you did end up working at SMB, I feel like fairly quickly.
Yeah, I was
within
really
a year or two after high school.
Pretty lucky.
What was the like, do you remember kind of what your mindset was in that? Were you like always nervous? Because you're so young. Always
nervous, always apologetic. You feel like you're stepping on people's toes. You feel like you're not doing things right. A little too much of that.
And two, I would say, for one, NSMB at the time, still a huge website. At that time, it was like Pink Bike and NSMB were like the outlets for mountain bike content. There was no Instagram really and all these other feed and content creators. So you guys were like responsible for big stuff for sure.
I just I was every once in a while I get a random old email, and one popped up, and it was me sending one of my first invoices for that job, and I said, oh hey, like so sorry, but like if possible, I just want to send you my invoice, or like if possible, like pay me or something. I'm like apologizing, but I'm like, what the hell? No, I did the job, pay me, right? Like,
of course,
that's what I mean by apologetic. But yeah, no, we were like, the timing was perfect. This was when websites realized, oh shit, we need like video content. We can't just rely on blogs and photos, because other people were posting videos. Video players were becoming a thing. YouTube was blowing up more than ever. And yeah, there I was. I got some skills with the camera. I'm obsessed with the video. It's like, here's a kid that'll go nuts on video. And yeah. And then fast forward a couple of years, we're still doing the YouTube thing. And I said, hey, can we make bike videos, but try to make them funny for the website? And then I was double dipping. I was like, well, let's make funny videos that are on the YouTube channel, but you can embed them on your website, and I'll put presented by.
Was the first one How to Be a Mountain Biker, or was there something else before that?
Good question. There's probably some stuff before that.
Yeah, there might have been.
Faster Than You? No,
I think Mountain Biker was before Faster.
But there might have been like shit mountain bike. No, shit mountain bikers say must have been later. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might have been something that was on their website, but
yeah,
cutting edge stuff, man.
NSMB. Do you have like a good story from those days? Because I feel like that was like a coming of age for you. Like
NSMB?
Yeah, because Cam McRae's been on the podcast, Trevor, Pete, they're all older. There's a good drinking culture. There's a party culture.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you got thrown it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically hanging out with like 40-year-olds all the time. 30, 40-year-olds.
For sure.
And who had a lot of experience, who knew their way around a beer can, whatever. They knew everybody. They were shaking all the hands, right? Everybody knew who they were. So I was there like, and there's me, and I have a camera, and I have to film you now. So I got to shake hands pretty quickly. But good stories, I feel like all the good stories were told on the Cam Pod.
Oh,
the Cam McRae podcast.
Right. The Interbikes and the Sea Otters.
Yeah, trying to think.
Did you ever tell the story of you trading up from a pair of socks to a full bike?
I don't think I ever told that story. So one time at Sea Otter, we were always looking for something fresh to do, and I was inspired by the story of the guy who traded a paperclip for a house, traded all his way up. Mm-hmm. And I decided, why don't we make a video that's starting with a pair of socks. We trade all our way up to a bike, and then we give the bike away. And we were successful. We traded there's a list somewhere. I could get it right. We traded a pair of socks for, I think, an aluminum handlebar. And then it was like a seat or something, and then it was like a carbon handlebar, and then it was a carbon rim set, and then it was a Yakima bike rack. I'm totally messing up the order.
It's okay.
Should have had it pulled up. Be a much better social cut.
Yeah.
I think you might have told this story on the pod before.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
And
sounds familiar.
The last two trades were interesting because we had gotten so far, and it was going to be a big jump to go from like a bike rack to the bike. And so we went to Bike Mag, and we said, hey, we'll trade you this bike rack in exchange for you to be able to run this story in your magazine. And then we got a bike from Santa Cruz, and then they gave us a bike, and then Santa Cruz got their plug in the article, and then we ended up giving the bike to like a 16-year-old girl who was killing it. We like went around, we're like, hey, who deserves this bike? And we found like the girl who everybody was saying.
That's sick.
Yeah, I butchered that story, but we basically traded our way up legitimately from a pair of socks. But it was at a trade show, right? So it wasn't like I was going door to door. It was everybody's there. Everybody's got tents. People are on camera while they're doing this. Well, we didn't do it on video, actually. I think we just did it photos.
It's also a trade show. So, I mean,
trade show. It's true.
Make a lot of sense.
But, there was negotiations. I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
it's
for
cool.
sure.
Yeah.
I feel like you had an actual shift, or a part in a shift of NSMB where it became not necessarily like you go to Pink Bike and you get like, here's all the new products. And then NSMB was more like, here's some products, but here's like this alternate angle story of this event that you wouldn't see anywhere else. And like you were definitely a part of that. And yeah, for sure.
Well, I hate being cookie cutter. I hate just blending in with the norm. I love to stand out. I think that's another thing that kind of encouraged my creativity early on, is like I had to be doing something different. I still am like that. I always want to do, you know, someone zigs, I zag. I don't know. I don't want to be doing the whatever everybody else is doing for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm a psychopath.
No, you just don't want to be riding the trends. You want to be an original.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff we do is 100% original. It's inspired by what other people are doing, but it's, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was always like, I don't want to just do the usual stuff. And also there was kind of a precedence to be set with NSMB, because there wasn't that history of, well, what have we done with video in the past?
Right.
I was writing it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think the emphasis was always, what can we do that's funny? Because I think we realized early on, like when we would make a mountain bike edit, we'd be out there working our butts off, shooting someone else, you know, 1 million, one more. You just busting your ass shooting biking, and then you get like 2,000 views, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not as fulfilling as when you come back with a comedy sketch or like a music video and you're getting like 1 million views and a bazillion comments and everybody's talking about it in person. They're like, oh my God, I love that. That's crazy. You know, and all these connections are made. You're like, well, I want to do more of that. So you just start chasing
the dragon.
The dragon. Man. Oh my God, am I chasing the dragon?
What I'm fast forwarding here. Do you remember quitting NSMB?
Oh yeah. That was one of the big scary steps that had to make. But I was like, I knew I was very fortunate in that position to be able to work other jobs. Now, maybe my salary wasn't like enough to sustain like a life with NSMB. So I kind of had to have other jobs going. Right. So it was like, it was fair for them. It's fair for me. So I was working jobs for like MEC. I just random little like bike companies jobs, like at Rocky Mountain were some of my first jobs. Segoy. I don't know who else, but I was getting all these jobs and I was starting to make money. And at a certain point, I was like, I'm making more money doing these freelance jobs than I'm making at NSMB. And I knew at a certain point, like, that just doesn't make sense, because they were expecting 3 to 4 videos a month. I mean, I've already said what I made on with NSMB. I was making 30 grand, and it was 3 to 4 videos a month. And I was like, this is a lot of work. It was starting to burn me out. And after 5 years of doing it, you're like, oh my God, this is a lot. And you know, you just kind of burn out. So yeah, at a certain point, I'm like, I got to make the leap. And I remember I went to JJ Bean and I met them, and I met Cam and Pete, and I'm like, I think it was kind of like you're like breaking up and everybody knows what's about to happen. And I'm like, I think I got to go freelance, guys. And Cam said, yeah, I was waiting for this day. I knew it would come one day, which I took as a compliment, because he's like, you're doing well, you're figuring it out, and you're, you know, building your own little empire, a little catalog of videos, and it makes sense. So yeah, it was all good, but it was a scary leap, right? Because I'm like, oh geez, can I make it on my own? I think a lot of people, I love Brooke's light mustache. Wait, look back the other way. Look at the sunlight coming in. She's got a perfect mustache.
Now you're talking.
It's funny.
Sorry, it's too good not to forget.
Is it a square and directly under, or long?
Wait, Brooke, turn your head.
I think a lot of people, they get to that stage where they're like, shit, I should probably go freelance. And it's scary. It's scary as hell, but
yeah. I feel like, I feel like you probably just did it on a feeling rather than like crunching. Sorry. This is insulting. But
fuck you, Jace.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
I would say the same.
No, I was not crunching numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just looking at my bank account like, this is probably gonna be okay.
Crunching vibes.
Yeah.
No, I was like, this will probably keep happening. And I was just like, yeah, I was literally going off vibes. Like, surely this will never be taken away from me, and surely there will never be a mountain bike like economic crash, and surely sponsors will never drop us, and surely these companies will never go under, and surely budget cuts will never become a reality.
Yeah.
And I was just riding that high. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So
yeah,
I was a little nervous, but I think at a certain point, like I realized that there's anybody successful who's made it, they've had to make these decisions too. So I think I had a bit of a fear of, or I didn't have a fear of failing. I was like, whatever, I'm young enough, living with my parents. If I don't make enough money, I'd probably have a plan B here. And also I should shout out Manila Grey, because I think having them by my side, musicians, they also were like, this is for life, and we're not stopping till we make it. And I think having that kind of like camaraderie made me believe in myself and my abilities and what I could do as a freelancer. So yeah, I do remember that day vividly, quitting NSMB.
That's crazy. They haven't replaced you since, have they?
No, there's been no full-time video person.
Once you have the best, you can't go get the rest.
I mean, yeah, I gotta commend Cam's instincts to kind of go with me, because I was dedicated, and I know how hard it is now being in his position to find someone who's passionate and willing to go through hell to, get the final product. It's fucking hard, man.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially in those days, like, well, these days too. But I was gonna say to stand out and like be different, but it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Well, where do we go now? I mean, we've talked about IFHT.
Well, Dave's got to go for dinner with his mom's birthday.
Right.
You guys shouldn't have spent so long up top. I feel like everything I've talked about on other podcasts.
Yes, most people probably
It's all
haven't heard
softballs.
those.
It's all softballs. How'd you grow up?
All right.
You
What's
want
your
a
process?
hardball?
No.
Yeah.
talking about how
Let's
you're
go. Let's go
nervous?
some. Let's go some rapid fires here.
Okay.
Try.
All right.
What's the last text message you received?
What's the last sex miss? What?
What's the last text message you received that wasn't from Richie Schley?
We should have used that as a way to say this. It's from my father. He says, I can do a ride anytime Saturday if you're into it.
Oh,
What a fun tie-in, guys.
Who's your idol?
My idol? Oh, my gosh. My father.
Oh, double dad.
Double dad.
Double D. Yeah, I know. I mean, he's like I said, everything I've been saying is like, oh yeah, my dad did that too. Oh yeah, my dad did that too. And I really respect his cool dad move of having the yard and nurturing a little squad of mountain bikers in the family.
Definitely fed off each other.
We were feeding off each other big time.
For
so
sure.
I would love to do that and have the same kind of yard situation.
What's your greatest aspiration?
Probably from my armpits. And a little bit behind the knees sometimes. Definitely down the back of the neck right now.
Okay.
What
Plead the
YouTube
fifth.
video?
Aspiration? What is that? My biggest goal? What the
Yeah.
I would love to make the movie, guys. Nice. BCPOV said I talk about the movie too much on the podcast.
Really?
He didn't say it. He said, you talk about the movie a lot on the podcast.
I feel like we don't.
No,
I feel
yeah.
like
I
we
feel like
do.
it's not that often.
Yeah, it makes me scared to talk about it. I would like to do it. Boy, has that been a patient process, though. If you have $3 million out there,
Buy Rhett's
Get-
land, and then he'll give us the finder fee. Right? That's the move.
Yes. I don't know. I'd like to make a movie. I would love to keep this going forever and work with my friends and have a great loving family and never have to do a regular job, because I never have. I feel like, I don't know. In some ways, this feels like a regular job every now and then. But this is great. I'd love to make this flourish and get bigger and global domination. Yes.
What is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear.
And you can't say rats.
Death, probably. Death.
It's a top one.
Yep.
That escalated quickly.
Yep. I mean, heights.
Oh.
I'm definitely fearful of heights for sure. I get all butthole puckery when I'm next to a steep fall or something like that. If there's a guardrail, I'm better. But you guys feel like when you get up like on a bridge or something, instantly like you notice every pocket on your body. Like everything's gonna fall out of my pockets at once.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely.
And you know, like you're next to a ledge, like you're on a hike or something, you're at the viewpoint, and you're like, well, I'm not going to like fully run off this cliff. But what if like I just have a seizure? I just decide for what if will what's it called? Will with power?
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No.
No? You ever have a feeling where you're like at a cliff edge and you're like, I'm not gonna like fall off of it. But what if I did?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
for
about
sure.
jumping.
Yeah, you think about it, right? And then
Yeah.
I start to get sweaty palms and
Yeah.
the butthole puckers, and it's like, oh my God. But also the rats, the spiders, the scary. I used to be pretty scared of the dark. But I think that was because we had some break-ins. So I was scared that there was going to be a person in there that was going to hurt me. The spiders you can't see in the dark. The rats you can't see in the dark. Lots of ghost stories in my family. You can't see the ghost. Well, you can definitely see the ghost in the dark. All that. But I lost that fear of the dark a little bit. Although, depends where. If you're out in the forest, all alone, dark,
Yeah,
start riding a little faster.
for sure.
If you start noticing what's behind you a little more too.
Sometimes I'm like getting ready to fall asleep and I'm in bed and my room's all dark and I'm alone and I'm like, you're not even scared of the dark anymore, and I'm like proud of myself.
Wait,
You ever have that?
I might be contradicting myself because in the Mike Levy podcast,
Yeah.
I said that if I can, when I'm sleeping, I'm off to the side and I can see down a hallway, I will stack pillows or something so it blocks my vision. I can't see down the hallway.
But that's not scared of the dark. That's a vision of.
No, it seems like scared of the
It's
dark.
a little bit of scared of the dark, I think, actually.
Okay.
It's a little bit of like this. I've heard this is bad feng shui. I'm going to block this out.
I think there's merit to that though.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Those are a lot of aspirations.
Do you want to do a blind ranking?
You got one?
You got a blind ranking.
Oh, no. I'll pass. It's okay.
We're doing blind ranking of the greatest IFHT films
Okay. Mario's Gelato.
with the creator of the IFHT Films. Dave, you want to take it away?
Sure. Number 1.
Now, if you recognize all these, you are a big fan.
So there's gonna be 6. Number 1. I only ride park.
That's probably pretty high. The staying power of that video, incredible. Parents love it. The kids love it. The babies love it. Everybody loves it. I gotta give it a 2.
Ooh,
Okay.
strong one. I agree.
Shitty crafts.
Oh boy, that is a sleeper. Underrated, super funny. For those who know it and love it, well, it's their favorite video of all time. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm going to give it a 5.
Fire, bro.
Sickest edit ever.
Oh, man, that's a good one, too. We won the Dirt Diaries. People still want the movie to this day. I'll give it a 3. Ooh, shit.
Okay. Faster than you.
Oh, okay. I would probably give that a 4. I might. Can I swap 3 and 4?
No.
Is that's not part of the game?
No.
Oh.
All right. If Diablo 3 was a girl.
Oh shit. What the fuck is gonna be last? It's gonna be Mario's Gelato, won't it? Oh, all right. I'll give it a 1. That was our most viral video of all time. That was a freaking mind blower.
Yeah.
500,000 views a day for like 7 days in a row, all the way until it reached 12 million views. It was on the front page of Reddit. It was like one of the most viewed videos on YouTube. A lot of people discovered us from that video. And I think we made like 12 grand from AdSense alone, which is probably nothing compared to like some of our friends making like videos of trains and shit. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was such a short video. Like, there's so many factors into that. That was a while ago, too.
Yeah, that was
Like,
a while ago. That's
YouTube
probably-
ads were cheap back then.
All right. So your number 6
Uh-oh.
is how to buy a mountain bike.
Oh. Oh, that's not good.
That's tough.
That's not
It's
good.
a tough one. How do you feel? How do you feel about that ranking?
Awful. Very bad.
Oh, we did our job then.
Ah, shit.
If Diablo 3
Of course you wouldn't put Mario's Gelato on it. Nobody knows it.
Well, some
Jeez.
people definitely know it.
Oh, crap.
That's good. That's a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. Honestly, this list could have been like 10 long.
For
We
sure.
were
Not-
like really trying.
Not even a how to be on there.
Yeah.
Just how to buy.
be.
The thing is, there's so many. It was hard to like pick
Yeah.
one, the definitive one.
Mhm.
So
sometimes it feels like we started yesterday, guys, and then you look back and you're like, what the hell? We made like hundreds of videos.
People don't forget.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Time flies, man.
It is. And
flies.
I feel like there's eras of, like, these are in different eras of IFHT in general. Like, Diablo 3 was a girl. Were you even full-time in IFHT at that point?
Oh, probably not. But
Yeah.
that was when our bread and butter was coming up with topical sketches. Like, what's going on in the world right now? Let's write a sketch as soon as possible. And I knew that I was a big Diablo fan. If you're a Chother, you know this. And Diablo 2 was like a fail when it launched. And I remember I was laying in bed and I was like, we got to write something. And I think the next day I wrote a script. I sent it to our friend Chris Stanley, who shot it for us the next day. And then we edited it. And I think the whole process was 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And it was out. And then it started going viral the next day. Literally, like, from the moment I thought of it, 4 days later, 500,000 views. Insane.
Yeah. I think.
How can you not get addicted to that feeling?
Yeah, exactly. The gratification from that
And
is just like refreshing. It's like,
Also, it cost nothing. I think everybody just did it to do it.
yeah, probably.
And then Bridget, who starred in it, she blew up.
Yep.
Chris, haven't heard from him in a while.
I think he's still doing
I saw
film
him.
stuff.
Yeah, he is. I saw him in a camera rental store one time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Now we're here.
Okay.
should we do the other game?
Yeah, let's do the other game.
Okay,
boy.
we got a game of this or that.
God, it is
Have you
fun
heard
to
of
be
this
a
one?
guest on this pod. Huh?
Do you need to hear the rules?
Yeah, I do. What is the rule?
It's that time again, folks. Time to play this or that.
Is this you?
The game where you choose between
this your
two
voice?
radically different options. Either this or that. Are you ready?
No.
Do you recognize that voice?
Is that William Shatner?
Yep.
Wrong.
All right, Mr. Music Man, hit the music.
It's never been quieter. Why?
All right, number 1, Vancouver Island or Lonely Island?
Oh, that's a toughie, guys. Jeez, you do this every pod? Who comes up with this shit, huh?
This is a bit.
Jeez. I'll have to go with the Lonely Island. Lonely Island.
Never be able to ride a bike again or never be able to make videos again?
Never. I would rather never be able to ride a bike again. If I'm in a wheelchair, if I can, I'm gonna still be directing from the chair.
Cooking?
Or something.
Cooking or pottery?
I'll take cooking. Pottery is a new love, though. I do love that, but I haven't done enough of it. Do love cooking.
A little pot or a little pot?
Little pot. That's an inside joke. That's a good one. You gotta explain that after.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Little pot. Go ahead.
Thanks, Dave.
Next one.
Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna keep this thing on the rails.
Gunbound or Counter-Strike?
Counter-Strike, man. Holy shit, Counter-Strike. Best game in the world.
Dick-sized nipples or nipple-sized dick?
Oh boy, you would have thought I'd thought about this one, huh? I'll go with the let's see. Oh, here I am visualizing for the first time.
I visualize it every time.
No, I'm just
Same.
kidding. I visualize it even when we're not recording.
Yeah.
I'll go with the nipple-sized dick.
Oh, sorry, bro. Pee a baseball or poop a marble?
I think someone else in the pod said, I feel like I've pooped a baseball before. So have I. I'll take the poop a baseball. Yeah, I don't want to get the kidney stone. On Kill Tony the other night, so a guy comes out.
Mhm.
He talks about his kidney stone. He says, you know what? I actually have the kidney stone. He pulls it out. He rattles it around. He hands it to the panel. Louis J. Gomez, comedian. He opens it up. He takes this kidney stone, pops it in his mouth. He swallows it.
That's
Disgusting.
demented.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, right?
I knew where you were going. Right when you said he passed it, I'm like, someone's gonna fucking eat that shit.
It was crazy.
I'd be bummed. I'd be like, my stomach.
I gotta show you that clip after. Anyways,
He has to give it back to him from the poo, and then that guy has to eat it.
On the rails.
on the rails.
Would you rather be 4 feet tall or 8 feet tall?
4 feet tall.
Missing your
Let's explain why 8 feet tall comes with a lot of health problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got brittle bones. You're gonna fall over. You're gonna hit your head. 4 feet, fun sized. Yeah, I was 4 feet tall at one point in my life. I'm familiar.
That's true.
Great success.
Missing your alarm for a shoot or showing up to the shoot without a memory card?
Oof. Say that one more time.
you miss your alarm for the shoot, and so you're fairly late.
Yeah.
Or you show up to the shoot, but you forgot the only memory card.
But I'm also in charge of the memory card.
Correct.
I was the guy.
Correct.
Oh boy, is that dependent on some factors. I have slept into some shoots. One was very big. That didn't feel good. I'm gonna go with the memory card, but I've also done that memory card trick a couple times, and it's been bad news. Fuck.
They're both bad.
They're both terrible.
Yeah.
The memory card is better because it's like you had things on the rails and something slipped up, but you were still.
Thanks, Dave, for chiming in. I'm gonna go for the I'm gonna go for the waking up late, because if my team is dialed, whoever, they can still shoot. Wait, did I have the camera though, or was that just in charge of the SD card?
Great question.
Because if we don't have the memory card and we're in the remoteness, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
It's true. We didn't think about this question hard enough.
What? Next one?
No, this one.
This one.
The alarm.
Wide angle or long lens? Moving along.
Wide. Wide. I like the wide. It's fun. More challenging. I watched The Sopranos for the pilot.
Nice.
They shoot with a lot of wide angles, and they do dialogue back and forth with must be like a 14 or 16 millimeter. Wow. And it's really cool. And I would never think to do that. And I love getting close to a face with a wide angle and you still see shit in the background. That's fun. But boy, do I love a zoom, Dave. Oh.
Mark Normand or Joe List?
Oh, Mark Normand. Come on.
I couldn't think of a better.
Joe List is fucking. Oh man,
couldn't think of
he's fucking funny too, though.
Conan.
You couldn't think of a B? Yeah, you probably could have split that better.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien or Tony Hinchcliffe?
Okay, here you go. Conan.
Chamois or no chamois?
Wait. Let's say Conan versus Mark Normand. I still go Conan. Conan's like the cornerstone of my childhood, man.
Chamois or no chamois?
Chamois, every time.
Survivor or Alone?
That's a good one.
I'm just getting feedback on all your.
That's good work. No notes from me. Boy, I would have to go Survivor. The fabricated kind of drama, it riles you up. There's the creativity involved. You got Jeff. There's all the seasons. But Alone, there's something. Alone, I love it, but it's almost like ASMR. I fall asleep almost every episode. But I'll watch it through. We're gonna watch it tonight.
Burning Man or Crankworks?
Crankworks. I don't have enough Burning Mans under my belt to choose Burning Man.
That's fair.
I can't betray Crankworks like that.
Hawaii or BC?
BC.
Dad cam or red cam?
Dad cam. Come on, Dad cam club as the leader.
I fucking hate that, or I fucking love that.
I fucking hate that. Oh.
Mahalo, my dude, or aloha, my bud?
Mahalo, my dude.
Okay. Balancing a Ronin or stubbing your toe?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Those are both miserable. Holy shit. I'll go with the Ronin. The frustration after stubbing the toe. Oh my God.
Yeah, and you don't get anything after.
Yeah, and you're like, how did I not see that? Why was I walking like a duck? I'm getting mad just thinking about it.
Bad light or bad talent?
Yeah, the bad light, man. The bad talent. That sucks.
No hander or tabletop?
Tabletop, man. Tabletop.
Hammock or rooftop tent?
I'm all about the hammock these days. The rooftop tent's a little too much work. I mean, if I had the pop-up rooftop tent, that might change my mind. But it's too many steps, a lot of weight.
Super technical.
winning Dirt Diaries for the first time, or the 100,000 YouTube subscriber plaque?
Oh, the tube, man. 100K.
I Only Ride Park or I'm Faster Than You?
Probably I Only Ride Park.
Hoverboard or scooter?
Oh my God. Now we're getting hard. Yeah. Holy shit, man.
It's a ramp up.
Oh my God. Like, so if I choose one, that means the other one didn't have a part in my life?
I think just moving forward, you can't ride.
Yeah.
Moving forward?
Yeah, moving forward, you can't ride.
Yeah,
moving forward. Oh.
Future is now.
Well, I mean, if it's moving forward, I'm going to have to keep the hoverboard. Buttery smooth gimbal shots.
Yeah.
But if we're talking Like my childhood, dude, the scooter. I spent a lot of days on that Razor scooter. Holy.
Filming in spotty light or heavy rain?
Oh my god, they both suck. I'll take the spotty light.
Oof.
I feel like we've really just come to accept the spotty light.
Yeah.
If it's happening, we make the most of it.
Just make
The
the most
rain
of it.
is like, oh my god. Sometimes you get fogged up lens, you got water on the lens, you got wet
Yeah, it's a
It's a
everything.
nightmare.
Your shit's
Everyone's
breaking.
miserable.
Yeah, it's all about the gear. It's
Yeah.
all if you have the appropriate gear, but yeah.
Overexposed or out of focus?
Overexposed. You can fix that probably. You can do some nowadays. You can probably do some AI generation.
True.
Out of focus. Absolutely fuckoed, my dude.
Sickest edit ever or Ferta Girls?
Oh. What are you trying to make me make enemies here? Come on, man. We know they're listening. No. For the girls, man. Come on. The social impact.
Mhm.
You know, empowering females.
Mhm.
That's pretty priceless. But
Some-
sick as that ever. That was a good time.
Somewhere Norb's just like a tear fell out or something.
No, he's probably going. Oh, what's he gonna say? Oh.
Fatality.
Mahalo, my dude,
Love you,
or,
Norbs.
or IFHT?
Which of the two?
Yeah.
Like this or that?
That's the game.
Oh.
Hey, you said it.
Oh God. So if I say one or the other, one of you quits, or what's the?
Yeah, one of us storms out.
Holy shit! I didn't even think about that one as an answer, as a question. Gotta go.
I got a dinner to
I
make.
gotta go. I gotta go. IFHT.
Making a sketch comedy video
I
or
thought
a
that was the
music
last
video?
one. How many you got? Jesus.
We got 5 more.
Holy
37.
crap. All right. Sorry. Took too long. Go ahead. What?
Sketch video or music video?
Sketch video.
Sexy Flanders or Homer in the Bushes?
Oh, Sexy Flanders.
Bart or Homer?
Bart.
2 Road Richmond Bike Park or
Although,
Richmond
fuck,
Skate
Homer
Park?
though. Homer is funnier though, but Bart. More Bart at soul in my soul.
You almost were. 2 Road Richmond Bike Park or Richmond Skate Park?
Oh, the bike park, man. Come on.
Kona Stab or Specialized P3?
The stab, dude. All the Konas.
Instant Pot or Hibachi?
The harder one would have been Stinky Junior stab, but
Fuck.
I'm gonna go stab.
I knew it.
Instant Pot or Hibachi?
Like Hibachi magic wand?
No, like, you know,
Hitachi
Hitachi.
Hitachi magic wand. What's a hibachi?
Hibachi is like a little barbecue thing. Like your little Korean
like
barbecue
a
thing.
Korean. Oh, okay. Oh, the Instapot, man. Dude, we use that like every day. Every day.
A jerk off device?
I was like, oh.
And final question.
What do women call it? Jerking off? All right.
Final question. Dumb and Dumber or Kill Tony?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Oh, that's a hard one. Oh my God, the more I think about it. Jesus. Moving forward or going back?
Yeah, true.
You're the first person that's ever asked moving forward or like lifespan. Like, do my memories get erased?
Dude, I'm
That's
the
a
worst. I don't know. I don't know how to stop and answer. I'm just rambling on.
No, it's
That's
a
good.
philosophical debate.
Feeding
Content.
Feeding off each other. So is that it? How do you guys wrap this thing up?
Are you? Do you feel metaphorically full?
Not really. I feel a little like I could go on for 3 more hours.
I know we barely. I mean, yeah.
This is what happened on mine too, though. We barely got there.
It's like you ask me a question and then that jiggles. It
Sure.
Yeah.
jogs a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, maybe that's kind of entertaining, and I just want to dive into that, and then we're making jokes at each other. And
Well,
it's like,
episode 101 could be part 2, Matt.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's nice. You're actually an interesting person. You're an interesting guest, and we know.
Thanks. That's the nicest
we're-
thing everyone's ever said to me.
Yeah, you're actually good. We're burdened by knowing so much,
By knowing you.
but by knowing so much about you that we can ask so many questions.
Right,
Right?
yeah.
Like it's not every day you get to experience.
Now, what were
that.
you scared to ask me? What did you talk about? I'm like, oh, should we ask that?
We didn't have any of that.
Oh, well, then you guys.
We might have had a moment of that for Ferta Girls versus.
Yeah, that was the
Sickest Edit
only.
Ever.
That was the only like. Oh.
Why? Because I might tear them apart.
No, because you might like be scared to offend.
Oh,
someone.
it's all video shit. Means nothing,
Alright.
or maybe it does. Just feeding for the girls.
Nothing
your
means,
legacy.
nothing means anything.
Yeah.
Probably some like girls gonna be like 20-something years old one day and be like, oh my God, I remember watching For the Girls when I was 3 weeks old.
That might be now.
Oh God, no.
It has been a while.
No.
I think we asked everything. I don't think. Yeah, no, we wouldn't have been. We didn't put a filter on.
No.
All right, guest. Where can the people find you? Where?
Oh boy, you can find me on linkedin.com/mahalo my cunts.
The NSMB forums.
NSMB
archives.
forums, give me that rep. I got a Reddit account. Secret Spaghetti Man 42069. Yeah, you can add me on Counter-Strike. Schlayer is my username, and you can find me at my address. Anytime.
I can't believe you said your address. That's crazy.
No, bleep that, please.
Okay,
bleep that.
yeah, we should.
All right. Well, that's a pod. That's episode 99.
That's the worst
It's
pod
the
ever,
last.
guys.
It's the last bad pod.
It's the last two-digit pod.
We made it.
Yeah.
Wow. On to the good ones. Wait, is
Oh,
it is it after 100 it becomes good?
Yeah, so we still have one bad one.
Oh crap.
Or our best one ever.
Another one.
Brooke,
right.
you got any questions for me? Last chance. Did they cover all the bases? Did you learn something about me? My own future wife here. Crazy, huh? Future wife. Holy smokes.
I have one this or that.
Well, that's all the time we have today, folks.
Nasal dilator or pillows?
Holy shit, Brooke. Nasal dilator. So would I rather sleep with a nasal dilator and no pillow? Dude, I'll take a pillow, man. Come on, I'm not that crazy for the nasal dilators. Come on, what is this, prison? Sleeping on a
And we've
prison cell?
lost our nasal dilator.
I thought you meant like
sponsorship.
auxiliary pillows though. Like he gets one pillow, but it's like because
I cannot
You can
believe
have one pillow.
if Brooke sent you the this or that, she would have said cereal or ice cream.
That's a good one
Is it?
for him. He loves those things.
If you spent every day with me, you would know.
Yeah, but I don't see you eating cereal and ice cream every day.
That's what I'm saying. If you were with me every day at my house, you would
Right.
see that my diet is only cereal and ice cream.
All the food groups.
Ever together?
And you'll never know the answer. And as always,
Wait, hold on.
what?
If you love the pod, if you're a fan, if you're a Chother,
Jeez.
go to mahalmood.com.
Please. Helps more than you think.
Yeah, no.
We're looking for external
mahalmood.com.
validation still at this point in our lives.
Use code FEEDING, 10% off merch.
Mm-hmm.
Please, it helps the pod. We just released some new sticker packs.
Oh, yes, the anti-e-bike
E-bike
club and
pro
the
e-bike
pro
club.
e-bike club.
Literally minutes before recording this podcast. Go check
They
them out.
are funny. And the Borat one, too, also funny. Man, God, I love stickers. You didn't ask me once about stickers. I'm pissed.
Yeah, we missed a lot.
And
as always,
Thank you for listening to Feeding Off Each Other. Please subscribe for more great podcasts.